Yeah, so hi, very good evening. My name is Ayush Swastav, and I'm here to present my DSF Quest 7 assignment, in which basically I have to solve a easy code level lead code problem. Yeah, so let's start my video, but before that, let me share my screen with you. Yeah, so my screen is visible now. Now let's move on to the question. Now the question is DSF Quest 7, lead code homework set 7. It basically says you are required to submit a video solution for an easy level lead code problem. Here are some given guidelines. That is for me. I don't think so that I need to explain it here. Basically, I have to select a easy level lead code problem and I have to tell you the approach, how to solve it, and then I'll tell you the solution I have written the code. So the question that I've selected is question number 20, valid parenthesis, and it is an easy level lead code problem. The question says, given a string S containing just the character, this opening bracket, close bracket, opening curly braces, closing curly braces, opening square bracket, closing square bracket. Determine if the input string is valid. An input string is valid. There are given condition for it. Open bracket must be closed by the same type of bracket. It means that if an open bracket, like if the bracket is open there, then the closing bracket should be only this and not this or this one. Okay, so the opening and closing bracket should be of same type. Open bracket must be closed in the correct order because the order of closing and opening the bracket should also be correct. It shouldn't be incorrect. Like it should not be in any order. Every closed bracket is a corresponding open bracket of the same type. And also, if there is a closing bracket like this, there should also exist an open bracket for it of the same type. Like this is the given condition for the valid parenthesis or input valid string. The constraint is that the length of that particular string is greater than equal to 1 and less than equal to 10 to the power 4 and consists of parentheses only, like this one, this brackets. Now, if you look at the example 1, I can simply see that that consists of a opening and a closing bracket. That's why it's true. When I look at the second option, there's opening closing bracket of this type, then the square, and then the curly. These are all open and close in the same manner. That's why it's also true. But I can see that in the third condition, third example, the opening bracket is of different type and then the closing bracket is of different type. So this is a false condition. This is not a true condition. So I can simply understand from the given inputs, okay, that what is the required condition. It should be of the same type, the order should be correct, like there should not be the opening and closing bracket should not be in any order. Okay, so let me tell you first of all, I'll tell you the approach of this question, how I'll approach the question. Like this is the code, I will explain it later. First of all, I'll tell the approach. For that, I have this escalator to simply tell you what is really happening in the question. Now, this is we can simply say that this is a true condition. Now I have taken also this I have taken red box out of which the false condition is there. I'll take it in the last to explain you that when it should return false and when it should return true. I have first of all what done is that I've created a stack. This is a stack. Okay. This is a example of stack I've taken this as a like a basket. Okay. So this is simply you can understand it as stack. Now what would happen is that I'll take first of all this the condition the parenthesis in the red box. What I will do is that when I'll check that there's an opening bracket, okay, like this of this type. What I will do that I will put a closing bracket of that type in my stack, like this one. Okay. Now I'll move to the second. When I see once again opening bracket, I will put the closing bracket of the same type once again, layer by layer. Okay. One, then it's upper, then it's upper. Okay, like this one. Then I can see that there's an opening uh, square bracket. So what I'll do that I will put a closing square bracket there. Now I can see that then once again simple open bracket. So I'll simply put a close bracket of that type. Okay, this is the stack. Now what I will do that now I can move from here to this one. I can simply see that there's a closing bracket, not an opening bracket. So what I will do that I'll check my stack for that close bracket. If I can see that this one, this particular bracket is similar to the last one or not, the last bracket put in the stack. If it's similar, then then what will happen? This particular parenthesis is true. So what will I will simply remove this. Okay. Now I'll move to the second one. I can simply see that there is a square closing bracket. I'll once again check my stack if that square closing bracket is there or not. It's there. So what I will do that? The condition is true, so I will simply remove that. Now I move to the third. Okay, I can simply see that there is a closing bracket. I'll find my stack if that closing bracket is there in the stack or not in the order. It's there. I'll remove it. I can simply see that, yeah, the condition is true. Now at the fourth condition, I'll once again check if there is like now closing bracket of this stack. I'll check my stack. Yeah, it contains the closing bracket of that tag. So I'll simply remove it, and my this condition is true. So it will simply return true as my answer. Okay. Now, but what would happen if let's remove this red one, this red case. Okay, let's move this. Yes, just a okay. Now everything is removed once again. Now let us take this case. Okay, now I can simply see that we start from the opening bracket of square opening bracket. So I simply put a closing square bracket in the stack. Now once again, these all these cases similar to the previous one. I have simply found out that in the previous case, this all conditions has been true. So I'll not write it once again. So that the video will not be so longer. Now in the last, this was true. Now from moving there to there in the last, I simply move it to this condition. I simply saw that there is a closing bracket of this type. So I'll find my stack. I can simply see in my stack that there is no such closing bracket. Okay. And closing bracket of this type is only found in this stack. So when this bracket, this closing bracket and this closing bracket is not same, I'll simply return false. This is my very simple approach using stack. Now I have explained you the approach. Now let me explain the code. What I've done is that I have simply created a stack that it contains character. The name of the stack is stack itself. That is new stack has been created. Sorry for that. Now what I've done is that I have simply run the for loop. Okay, now for loop will run and it will check on character C that has got to character array. Okay, so it simply means that I'll run the loop um, to every character of this particular string. Okay, uh, it will iterate over each and every element of this particular string to character array. I also change the string to the array as well. Okay, so what I will do is that I will simply see that if C equals to this type of opening bracket like this in this condition, I will simply push a closing bracket of the same type into the stack. If opening bracket of this type is there is a square opening bracket, I will simply push closing square bracket into the stack. When there is a curly opening bracket, I will simply put a closing curly bracket into the stack. Okay, in this manner. Now what I will do is that else if what happen if there is not a opening bracket, like all these are opening brackets. What happens if there is like closing bracket? Like when I go iterate over this one, I can simply see that this one is opening bracket, so I'll simply put the um closing bracket of this type into the stack. Now when I move to the second one, I can simply see that this is not an opening bracket and this is a closed bracket. What would happen? The else if condition is there. What is the else if condition? If the stack dot is empty, if the stack is empty, if there is no if there is nothing in the stack, it will simply mean that the string is contains a different type of element. If the string doesn't have the bracket or it doesn't, if it contains something else, or if it is simply empty, it will return false. Or there is one other condition. It is that if stack dot pop not equals to C. Okay, what does that means? It simply means that when I pop my stack, okay, like when my okay, so when I pop my stack, I have already told you, like I'll check the last element present in the stack. Like this is in this condition, it was the last element present in that sorry in that particular case. I'll check the last element present in the stack. If it is not equal to the this one, the present that is present in the in my array list in my string. If both are not same, I will simply return false. Like in this case, I can simply say that if stack.pop not equal to C. Like my C is this type of closing bracket. Okay. But when I like this opening bracket, I will simply push um, uh, closing bracket of this type into my stack. And when I pop that and I found that if both are equal, like in this condition, yeah, it's true. Because I have pushed this type of closing bracket into my stack. And when I pop the element of my stack, that will be only this one. And when both will be equal, it will simply return true. And when both will not be equal, it will simply return false. Or when my stack is empty, it will simply return that stack is empty. Now I can simply see that these two conditions are true. Now let's move on to the false condition. What would happen in this condition? Let me try run the code for you. It will simply check. It will when I see that there is a closing opening bracket of this type. This so my stack will so and closing bracket of this type will be pushed into my stack. Now my stack contains this bracket. Okay, this closing bracket. Now I'll move to the second element of the string. I can simply see that there is a closing square bracket. So what would happen? I will simply pop my stack, the last element, pop my stack, so the last element of my stack will be taken out from the stack and it will be checked. Now my stack contains this closing bracket. I will check that if my current element is similar to the element in stack or not. I can simply see that my stack contains this bracket and my C is closing square bracket. Both are not same, so it will simply return false. In this manner, this particular code is run. Now I've also told you the approach using the skeleton that because that has made easier for you to understand what my approach really is. Because by simply telling what I have written and what I'm just telling you in words that what I want to do and what is my approach, it would be hard. But when I'm using a skeleton and simply tell you what is my approach, I think it would be easier for you to understand that what it would be like, what my solution would be like. And I'll simply run my code to check if it is running or not. There's some network issue there. Yeah, so my case is accepted and is running perfectly. Sorry, there was some sort of network issue. Yeah, so I was actually submitting the question. So when I submit my question, it's still getting submitted. Just a second. Sorry, there was a network connectivity issue here. The hostel Wi-Fi is not working perfectly. That's why there was some lag in my video, or there was some sort of problem or issue in that video. And pardon me there. It is taking a little bit longer time as network connectivity issues there. So basically, in this manner, this particular code is running. It's taking a little bit longer time to get submitted. Let me open the submissions for you. Previous so I can sorry for the network connectivity issue once again. I'm really sorry. There is so much network connection issues there. Yeah, so let me submit my solution. It's once again the network error. Let me show you the earlier submissions. Yeah, so the solution is actually, sorry, I think same problem is occurring. So it was accepted on December 3, 2023. As of now, I can do this only because there is some network and that's why it's not getting submitted actually. Yeah, so it has been finally submitted and you can simply see that it takes 2 milliseconds to run and it's also less. And in this manner, this particular code is running and the assignment has been done.